Most people think low intelligence is easy to spot. Bad grades, low IQ scores, obvious mistakes. But psychology reveals something far more uncomfortable. Intelligence doesn't expose itself in big moments. It shows up in the smallest habits, the ones you repeat daily without even noticing. And here's the part most people ignore. These habits don't just reflect your intelligence. They slowly retrain your brain to become less intelligent over time. Not instantly, but quietly, consistently, invisibly. Take something as simple as magical thinking. It seems harmless. Lucky clothes, certain colors. But psychology reveals something far more uncomfortable. Intelligence doesn't expose itself in big moments. It shows up in the smallest habits, the ones you repeat daily without even noticing. And here's the part most people ignore. These habits don't just reflect your intelligence. They slowly retrain your brain to become less intelligent over time. Not instantly, but quietly, consistently, invisibly. Take something as simple as magical thinking. It seems harmless. Lucky clothes, certain colors, small rituals that feel right. Maybe one day something good happened, and your brain connected it to something completely unrelated. Now it feels real. Now it feels logical. But it isn't. It's your brain confusing coincidence with cause. And real intelligence doesn't accept that so easily. It pauses. It questions. It asks a simple but powerful thing. Where is the evidence? Low awareness skips that step. It builds beliefs on feelings instead of facts. And once that pattern starts, your brain begins to rely less on logic and more on assumption. That's where the shift happens. You're no longer thinking deeply. You're reacting automatically. And the more you repeat it, the harder it becomes to break. Because your brain isn't just following the habit anymore. It's becoming shaped by it. Another habit people ignore: sleep neglect. You tell yourself you're fine. For hours. 5 hours. Maybe even less. You stay up late, scrolling endlessly, watching random things, convincing yourself it doesn't matter. But your brain keeps the score. Because sleep isn't just rest. It's repair. Every night, your brain resets attention, strengthens memory, and clears mental clutter. Miss that process once, you feel slow. Miss it again and again. Your thinking quietly weakens. Decisions get worse. Focus disappears. And the scary part? You start thinking this version of you is normal. It's like running a powerful system on low battery all the time. Eventually, performance drops, and you don't even question it. Now add something deeper to this: the fear of being alone with your own thoughts. Some people can't sit in silence. No phone, no music, no background noise, just themselves. And that feels uncomfortable. So they escape, constantly. But here's what psychology shows. Silence is where intelligence sharpens. It's where reflection happens, where you connect ideas, solve problems, understand yourself. But if every quiet moment is filled with distraction, your brain never gets that chance. You keep consuming, but never processing. And over time, your mind becomes dependent on noise to function. So instead of controlling your attention controls you. And that's how intelligence slowly fades. Not through failure, but through constant distraction. Here's the truth most people don't want to hear. Low intelligence isn't something you're born stuck with. It's something you train into your brain every single day. Through habits, through repeated choices, through the things you ignore. Because your brain is always adapting. Whatever you repeat, it strengthens. Whatever you avoid, it weakens. So if your days are filled with distraction, shortcuts, and shallow thinking, your brain adjusts to that level. And slowly, that becomes your default way of living. No effort, no depth, no growth. But here's where it gets real. Most people will hear something like this, feel a moment of discomfort, maybe even recognize themselves in it. and then do nothing. They'll scroll. They'll distract themselves. They'll go right back to the same patterns. Because change requires something their brain isn't used to anymore. Effort. And effort feels uncomfortable when you've trained your mind to avoid it. But a small group of people react differently. They don't ignore it. They don't escape it. They notice. They start questioning their habits. They sit with discomfort instead of running from it. And that's where everything begins to change. Because awareness is the starting point of intelligence. The moment you start noticing your patterns, you gain control over them. And once you gain control, you can start rebuilding the way you think. Sharper, deeper, more intentional. And over time, people don't just see a smarter version of you. You become someone who actually thinks differently. But that only happens if you break the cycle. Otherwise, nothing changes, and your brain stays exactly where it is. So the real question is, are you going to notice, or just go back to sleep?